In just 2 nights here in Salem, Virginia, we will witness one of the greatest spectacles in college football as we crown one team national champions, one out of over 240 Division III football teams. However, tonight we'll celebrate 4 extraordinary young men who have made a difference both on and off the field and inside and outside the classroom. That's 4 out of over 15,000 Division III football student athletes, with one being named the 21st winner of one of the greatest honors in college football, the Gagliardi Trophy. Welcome, folks, to the Salem Civic Center. I'm Frank Rossi with the executive editor of D3Football.com, Pat Coleman, and we're going to take you through this evening's affairs here to introduce you to the final four finalists, nominees for the Gagliardi Trophy here in Salem. Pat, again, they bring all 4 finalists here to Salem, and it's just a great spectacle to see, kind of a Heisman-esque feel for an award that is really not just on the field performance we look at, but a lot more.
It is. It really is. In a sense, it's the Heisman of Division III, only because it's the Division III version of the Heisman. In Division III, we expect our student athletes to be well-rounded. We certainly expect them to be excellent in the classroom. We expect them to go out and do good things in the community as well. So that's why I think this is really the epitome of Division III. It's academics, it's athletics, and it's community service. And that's why I love the Gagliardi Trophy. It's a fantastic award, named for a great man, named for a great coach, and we've had a lot of great kids win it too.
Last week, ESPN actually recognized John Gagliardi in a NCFAA award at the Home Depot College Football Awards, and you'll see actually a piece of that if you watch later on in the show during the main activities as we send up to the dais later on. However, John Gagliardi, as you know, retired after the end of the 2012 season, and his memory still will live on for a long time to come, and he's just a great man, a great coach. And his son Jimmy Gagliardi is here, still an assistant coach over at St. John's, and he'll be on the dais speaking as to this award later on. Pat, 2 quarterbacks, a linebacker, and a running back here. A very big mix, one from a North Region team, one from a West Region team, and 2 East Region team players. Very diverse pool in this Final Four finalist situation.
Indeed, and traditionally, this award has really gone to offensive players. Obviously, that's not exclusively true. Rocky Myers from Wesley, the safety, won it. Now that's several years ago, but there's been a defensive player who's won it. Offensive lineman won it from Augustana a few years back. So it is not truly or purely the bastion of quarterbacks and running backs, but the fact that we had several of them nominated means that we have a couple of them here. 2 quarterbacks, a running back, as you mentioned, the linebacker, who's arguably the best player on the best defense in Division III, which is a good reason why they're playing on Friday night.
Let's take a step back, then we'll talk a little bit more specifically about what we're doing here tonight. You know that there are, as I said, over 15,000 Division III football players, and we've whittled the field down to these Final Four. How did we get here exactly, Pat? You're a voter in this panel, so I'll let you explain.
Well, and so we start even, so there are 10 finalists, and there are probably in any given year 15 to 25 players nominated. There is a committee at the J Club, that's the St. John's University Athletic Alumni Association, that whittles that group down to 10. As the voters, we see those 10 people. We rank them from top to bottom. We give 10 points to the best player in our estimation on the ballot, all the way down to 1 point at the bottom. There's 39 members of the committee these days. The fan vote played a part in it. The fan vote was one of those 39 votes. And when we get down to it, the top 4 vote getters are here, which is great. So we get to see live and in person the reaction of the person who wins. And nobody here and nobody out there knows who wins until the name is announced here in, I would guess, about an hour.
Only the last few years have they done it in this process. It used to be just a dinner with the winner, and now with the Final Four, as Pat said, and as we alluded to earlier about the Heisman-esque feel of this, nobody really knows. Maybe 1 or 2 people in the entire room know. You and I certainly don't. Yeah, we were asking earlier, maybe not we would want to know, but nobody gave us the answer. So
someone at PricewaterhouseCoopers or something like that probably knows, and that's about it. Yeah.
I like that.
I don't want to know. I have to go up and interview those guys, and I don't want to know who wins beforehand either. So I'm looking forward forward to talking to Kevin Burke, looking forward to talking to Mack Foote, Cole Klotz, Octavius McCoy, get to know a little bit of their personality, know how they got here, how they got to Division III, and that sort of thing.
Absolutely, and we're going to speak to each of their coaches during this portion of the show before we send it up to the dais to introduce you to each of those 4 players before they kind of put it in their own words with Pat later on during the main part of the program. So, again, stay tuned here. You are watching the Gagliardi Trophy show. This is kind of the pregame show portion of it. After the main body of the show, we will have the reaction up here for the first interview after the winner is named. So we will be pretty comprehensive on this stream, so stay tuned. We're going to take a break, and then we're going to get 2 coaches to maybe talk about their players just a little bit, and maybe humanize it a little bit. Not just the on-the-field performance, remember, it's the off-the-field performance as well that counts toward the Gagliardi Trophy, and who better to tell us about it than the players' coaches themselves. We'll be back.
Division III schools offer academic scholarships instead of athletic scholarships. This really puts the focus that the student athlete needs to maintain that GPA.
I did receive a non-athletic scholarship upon entering school.
I got the presidential scholarship, which was huge for me.
I think there's more opportunities for academic scholarships in Division III. A lot of people pick schools just based on the sport and don't get that experience.
Being a Division III athlete and developing my leadership skills has definitely put my name out there and helped me get more recognition on campus, but more recognition nationwide. I did win the Jostens Trophy, which is based on leadership, academics, and then how well you do on the court.
I'm also the Schwartz Scholar of my class. Schwartz Scholarship is basically a scholarship that is given to a student who's identified as a likely leader.
And the end of the day, it won't matter how they play on the field, it will matter how they do in the classroom.
Division III allows you to be able to give yourself to other things. Not even just participate in them, but really get involved with them if you want to.
There's a lot of interaction. It's not just sitting back, taking notes. You're actually doing hands-on things and better preparing yourself for your major.
Choosing a Division III school, I've had the opportunity to develop my leadership skills and to be more involved on campus.
Division III in athletics, affords students the opportunity not only to participate in intercollegiate athletics at a competitive level, but also gives them the opportunity to, engage in the other interests in their campus and in their lives outside of that sport and outside of the academics on the campus.
And to have opportunity to have time to join clubs and being able to play basketball, it allows you to just be able to do everything you want to do. I wouldn't change it for the world.
And we're back here in the Gagliardi show, and if you get down to Salem at all, or if you watch Division III football at all, you probably know who I'm being surrounded by. To my right, your left, Vince Karras, head coach of Mount Union, and to my left, Lance Leipold, head coach of Wisconsin-Whitewater. Gentlemen, 8 out of the last 9 years, you guys have been here. It's been an intense rivalry, to say the least, but on nights like tonight, let's face it, it is kind of a celebration of your teams and the players that come here for the Gagliardi Trophy. So we want to welcome both of you here. I want to first, though, introduce, let's go, I think, guests first, technically here. I think that's the way it works this time around in terms of who's going to be home visitor on Friday night in the game. So we'll talk Wisconsin-Whitewater's candidate Cole Klotz, who is a linebacker. And you'll see some information coming up here in a moment. But Cole Klotz is a linebacker for Wisconsin-Whitewater from Elm Grove, Wisconsin, the middle linebacker. He is the Wisconsin Intercollegiate Athletic Conference's Player of the Year, first team All-WIAC. And he's also first team D3Football.com All-West region, majoring in cell physiology. If I knew what that was, I'd explain it further. Minor in chemistry. And you can see on the screen his community service, quite lengthy up there. And, Coach, first off, let's talk about the on-the-field more than anything else. Last season, obviously, your team didn't make it to the playoffs. Did Cole, from what you could tell, take it upon himself, maybe a little personally, that the team didn't make it, and did it inspire him in some way to become the tremendous star he did become this season?
Well, I think so. That, definitely one of the things about Cole is that his maturity, that he approaches everything in life. And last year was a disappointing season for our football program, but at the same time, that was a recommitment led by Cole and that senior linebacker crew that we have. And, from the day he's walked into our program, he's been one of those guys that's always taken the lead by example, no matter what age he was at or grade he was at that time.
Now, this season, I got the pleasure of watching the last couple of playoff games your team played in, and let's say maybe a slow start by the defense, but by the end of the second quarter and in the second half of both the last couple of games I watched, that defense was stifling, and I'm guessing that Cole was a big portion of that for you.
Absolutely, one of those things that when you play unfamiliar people, some of those first couple rounds were at least some teams we maybe had seen a little bit. It'd been a few years, but those were, as we go down this tournament, the competition is a lot more intense and margin of error isn't there. But I think once our defense had a chance to settle in, led by Cole and get a feel, those guys have done a nice job. And, we're going to need a guy like Cole to rise to the occasion again against a very talented Mount Union team Friday night.
Now, Wisconsin-Whitewater school with a larger enrollment, how has he stood out as a leader in such an environment? And when did you first tell yourself that, or were you able to tell yourself that he would become such a leader in that way off the field?
Well, it was right around maybe this time, maybe right after the first of the year. 4 years ago, Cole Klotz walked in my office at semester break and talked about wanting to come back closer to home after he'd been at Minnesota State Mankato for his redshirt year. And it didn't take long to see that type of body walk in your office, and you think it's going to be somebody that can contribute to your football team. But it was talking to him in his maturity beyond his years that, I told one of our assistant coaches, I go, this guy will be a captain here someday. He's going to be the type of guy, and very deservingly so that he has the chance to be here this evening amongst some more very talented players in Division III football.
And he's going to be trying to stop the candidate and nominee from Mount Union, Kevin Burke. And Coach, thanks for joining us here. After winning the championship last year, you see junior quarterback from Westlake, Ohio. He's two-time first-team All-Ohio Athletic Conference player, D3Football.com North Region Offensive Player of the Year. He leads all NCAA divisions with 188 points and has a nice 3.31 GPA in business administration. Your team, obviously, it's been much chronicled, only returns him as an offensive starter. What did he mean to that team and to you personally? I mean, here's an offense that could have easily said, look, it's a rebuilding year for us with a lack of, let's say, senior-type experience or starter-type experience. How did he pull it together for you? How did he make it easier for you as a first-year head coach?
Well, he did a great job from day one of helping the rest of the guys on offense settle in and step into the huddle and with poise and confidence and give them poise and confidence. He showed that he had confidence in them, and he was also going to be patient, as they gained experience and came along as full-time starters, and that's rubbed off on not only our offense but our team. So it's been huge.
I had a chance to watch the video that folks will get to see during the main program, and Kevin talks about especially not just being a football player or quarterback for Mount Union, and he's from day one he basically said that. 3 years now at Mount Union, what do you think his biggest contribution off the field has been?
Well, I think it's his leadership. His presence on campus. It rubs people the right way. He pulls people in. People want to be around him, I think, and when he takes leadership in off the field projects, they seem to take off, because of the leadership and the presence that he has.
Well, I wish both your institutions the best of luck. I know this is a very meaningful award for your schools and your programs, and best of luck as well on Friday night. I will see you both on the sidelines. If you see me, don't run me over. Make sure your players don't run me over. I'm a little guy compared to
look out
to all
for
them.
Cole.
Cole.
Over there.
All 6'4" of him, and then some. We're going to take a break, and we'll have our next two nominees and their coaches. We'll discuss them coming up here on the Gagliardi pre-show.
Something I discovered in myself is that if I have a goal, then I can accomplish it.
a well-rounded experience.
At a Division III school, you primarily a student athlete, so the school is really shaped around you developing yourself as a complete individual.
It helps a lot that you have a family with your team that can guide you.
I did receive a non-athletic scholarship upon entering school.
I got the presidential scholarship.
And welcome back to the Gagliardi Trophy pre-show. Again, Frank Rossi here. We got 2 more head coaches for the 2 candidates we have not discussed so far. Let's start with Octavius McCoy. And Octavius comes from Western Connecticut State University. He was actually a junior college transfer into the school, senior running back from Stratford, Connecticut, Massachusetts State Collegiate Athletic Conference Offensive Player of the Year, D3Football.com All-East Regional Offensive Player of the Year, Gridiron Club of Boston Gold Helmet Award winner, professional writing major, and Coach Joe Loth joining me. Coach, you and Octavius both came to WestCon around the same time. You as head coach, him as a junior transfer in 2012. How'd you find one another, and what did you know about him coming in as coach?
Well, to be honest, he was on campus when I got there. And the only thing I heard is, I knew the last head coach that left, and he said, hey, he's a pretty good player. And then he didn't go through spring practice with the guys at all. They kind of conditioned before I got hired, because I got hired in the summer. But a lot of people kept saying, hey, Coach, this Octavius guy is unbelievable. And then I talked to some guys in Connecticut and said, hey, he's a great high school player. So I knew he had a lot of ability, but I really didn't know a lot about him until that fall when we started practicing.
What was going through your mind on October 26th against Worcester State when this 455-yard performance, which has since surpassed, but let's face it, that was just an incredible day. What were you thinking while it was happening, and what clue did you have as to what was going on?
Well, as you look back at the game, at halftime we were actually down by a couple points at halftime. You always get the halftime stats. We looked at the stats, and I was like, oh, he's got 220 yards on 20 carries. So in my mind, I said, hey, you had a good first half. But we were down, and then going into the fourth quarter, we were still down. But then eventually we got up by a couple scores late in the fourth quarter, about midway through the fourth quarter, and then we took him out of the game. He had a 12-yard run. We just got the game in hand. And then I remember talking up to the coach, say, listen, I think he might have 400. You know what I mean? Because he had a 70-yard run and a 50-yard run in the second half. So, had no idea what the record was. In no way we were trying to break a record or anything. We just, even after the game, we didn't know until someone called us and said he broke the record. So it was an unbelievable day, though.
He's one of 2 East Region nominees. No East Region player has won the Gagliardi Trophy, believe it or not, since 1993. This is number 21. We'll see what happens tonight. Coach Bob Ritter from Middlebury. Let's talk about McCallum Foote, the senior quarterback from Cambridge, Massachusetts. He's a 2-time New England Small College Athletic Conference Offensive Player of the Year, first team D3Football.com All-East Region player, and he led the NESCAC in passing and touchdowns. Also another good GPA, 3.45 in economics, and a litany of service accolades. And the bottom of the screen you can see there. Coach, like Octavius, he didn't start his career in Division III, came from Brown. How did you learn about him, and how did he end up at Middlebury?
Well, we knew about him out of high school, but was obviously going to be an Ivy recruit pretty quickly. And I think he just was looking for something a little different, wanted more of a small college atmosphere. And we actually had one of his high school teammates on our team, and that's how we heard about him.
Now, a lot of Division III fans don't get much exposure to the NESCAC games because of the interscheduling and only 8 games and no playoffs, as well chronicled. We're not going to get into all that, but how does he compare in your 13 years of coaching to other quarterbacks and leaders that you've had on your teams? Kind of, scope it out for people that might not be able to tell otherwise.
Yeah, he's really an incredible talent, and obviously by his statistics and those kind of things. But it's really his leadership and his style of leadership that has really made our team even better. He's very calm, very composed, and is feels like he's always in control of the situations. And he just has a great ability. I haven't seen a quarterback who can put the ball in spots that he does, and does a incredible job of manipulating defensive backs with his eyes and his movements, and just has an incredible understanding of what defenses are trying to do and where to put the ball.
Now, we don't see many NESCAC nominees get this far for the Gagliardi Trophy, and maybe because of the scheduling of the 8 games, and some or most teams have 9 to 13 games under their belts, while you guys have 8. Do you think it makes it tough for the exposure for the NESCAC students? I mean, you all have some very great academic schools, to say the least.
Well, I do think because we play each other, and we're not playing out of region, and so a lot of our guys don't get the exposure that some of the other schools will get. But it really is, there's a lot of quality football there, a lot of talented athletes and great students. And so hopefully this might open things up.
Gentlemen, I appreciate it. Good luck to both of you and to your programs here. I know, as I said to our first 2 guests, this award means a lot to any program in any school. Let's see if the East jinx is broken tonight. It's kind of inexplicable, but it's happened this way. So 21 years of history. We'll see what happens here tonight. Good luck to both of you.
I appreciate it.
Thank you. We'll be right back, folks.
Thanks, Frank.
Ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome you back to tonight's program. I trust that you enjoyed your meal. If you would, please, just out of courtesy, let's give a round of applause to the Salem Civic Center staff tonight. Also, I would like to recognize just 3 folks very fast because we'll have a lot of time throughout this weekend to recognize other folks. But the first gentleman I want to recognize has been a part of this ever since it began in Salem in 1993. I'm talking about our relationship with the NCAA, and he is the game manager once again for this weekend. If you would, please welcome to my left, Mr. Kerry Harvey Cutter. Also, the commissioner of the Old Dominion Athletic Conference, the ODAC, co-sponsors this event every year as the host, along with the City of Salem, Mr. Brad Bankston. And also representing the City of Salem, one of my bosses, and his dad is the name that is on this entire complex up on the hill, the Talaferro Complex. If you would, please welcome Mr. Jay Talaferro. Jay is our assistant city manager, and I bring those three names up because they're important to why this exists in Salem and why we are here. And at this time of the program, we're going to kind of do a little bit of a history lesson for some of you out there, and it's important to always be aware of how we got to a place and kind of where we're going to go with it. And before we bring Mr. Gagliardi up, the building that you are in tonight is now 45 years old. And the likes of Johnny Cash and James Brown have performed in here. Dr. J dunked in here when the Old Virginia Squires played in here. And just a few weeks ago, we had the hottest band in America, Florida Georgia Line, playing here to a sold-out show that sold out in 7 minutes. So there's a lot of history, 45 years worth in this building, and it's great to have all of you in here. But the history that we're really interested in tonight involves Coach Gagliardi. And to get us up to speed on that, who better to do so than his son, Jim? Please welcome him.
Well, thank you very much. I'm honored to be here, and you know, some of you guys, this is pretty much the same crowd that's here every year. So again, congratulations, both Mount Union and Whitewater, outstanding. This is a compliment right now, but I'm sure you guys understand this too. You might be the most hated teams in the country. If you think about it, how many of those Ohio schools or Wisconsin schools are really, really rooting for you? I'm not sure, but that's a huge, huge compliment to what you guys have achieved. Something to be proud of. It is truly something special. I honestly don't know how you've done it. We were fortunate to make it here a couple of times and realize how hard it is. So you guys, outstanding job and congratulations. We're here, of course, there's 4 fantastic kids up here for this award, and it's something that my family is very proud of. And I know you guys don't want to hear me, but by chance, if my dad's out there watching this, I think he is, I showed him how to do this. If not, we'll catch him on replay. But we are really proud of him, our family is, and I want to thank him for everything he's done for me and in college football as well. Couple things, really what I want to do is introduce, this is a video that was done, gives a little background on John, what it's all about, what he was all about. It actually aired for the first time on ESPN this past week in the College Football Awards show. I do want to apologize a little bit. There's some highlights in there that may not be appropriate for half the audience here. It's a moment we're really proud of. Unfortunately, it was over 10 years ago, but we're really proud of that. One time we beat Mount Union, and that's the other thing I'm going to tell you guys. Everywhere you're going to go the rest of your life, both teams, you're going to hear people talk to you about the one time they were close to the game, they might have nudged you, whatever it is, that'll be there, and just take it as a compliment, sit back and smile and enjoy it, because you do give people that small little thrill of their lives, even when they're close to you. North Central and Mary Hardin Baylor and teams like, they're going to be talking about, hey, we almost got you that time. But here you guys are here today. So again, video here about my dad, and thank you again, and congratulations. Octavius a little bit ago asked me if I knew who won, and I said I don't, but good luck to all 4 of you. Makes me a little nervous. The quarterback seemed pretty calm. The running back, he's a little jittery, and the linebacker is a little nervous. So I don't know what that tells you. I think we'd rather have the linebacker nervous than the quarterback's calm. So. But again, here's a video on John, and I hope you enjoy it. Thank you.
The measure of a man can be defined in his life's work. excellence is often equated with winning. John Gagliardi won more games than any coach in college football history, 489. He coached for 60 years at St. John's University, a Division III Benedictine college in Minnesota, where he won 4 national championships. But not all merits are measured by numbers. There is no statistical value for virtue or integrity. In 1953, he came to St. John's, a 26-year-old head coach, a simple man with a simple message.
The only advice I'd say, treat everybody the way you'd like to be treated. I said that to my players over and over, year in and year out.
He taught that football wasn't everything. Football is a stepping stone to something more important. You know, your life, your family, your friends.
That's true. I think that was his philosophy. He didn't expect that you're going to go play in the pros, but he did expect that you're going to be good men.
First day of my freshman year, he took a dime out of his pocket and held it up to the sun. He said, "That dime is football and that sun is your education. Don't get them confused." And part of that was the respect for the human being and the whole notion that he was interested in your whole life. And it's because of the value system that the Benedictines have instilled at St. John's. I think the players responded to that.
Just trying to do the right thing. And that's really the only rule I ever had with him, the golden rule.
Gagliardi preached personal accountability. In practice, he eliminated anything deemed unnecessary, an unorthodox approach he called winning with nose.
We didn't have any blocking sleds, no dummies, no whistles, no cals.
Probably the most radical was no tackling in practice. People say, how can you possibly do that? There were so many injuries in practice that it would hurt us in a game time. So all we would work on in practice is defeating the blocking scheme, getting the proper pursuit, all the kind of things mental, you might say.
We were always very well prepared and fundamentally sound, and those are the things that are going to win a lot of football games.
His principles proved basic, yet effective. In 1963, St. John's won its first national championship, and another in 1965. In 1976, Gagliardi won his third. He was revered as a coaching icon, yet to his players, he was still John.
I don't think everyone heard him, anyone has ever called him coach. I've heard it a couple times, and, he'll just say, "No, I'm John."
He was John. He's always been John. From the day one, he's been John. So if you have a question, call him John. We have a lot of guys on our team, 180 or so guys come out for the team. There's only 22 spots for starters. But every one of those kids is made to feel important on the team, and that's one of the legacies that John's left.
He is a community person, and that's really what St. John's is built on, is a community, that spirit. The neighborhood kids would always want him to play, because he'd play with us. And at that time, we're talking early 70s, dads were just going to work, bringing home the salaries, and he was all about family time.
Family life and coaching life became one and the same as son Jim joined the team as a player and later as an assistant coach. In 2003, father and son stood side by side to witness history.
Elliott split left, Riegelman to the right side, split back to the backfield. Keating under center, 5-step drop, back to pass, into the flat, Nelson the catch at the 6, to the 5, to the 4, dives, touchdown Johnnies! John Gagliardi's 409th career game, history made here today.
People ask me how it's done, and well, talent and luck and prayers. Thanks very much.
The times changed, but the man did not. John Gagliardi held on, and he kept winning.
John Gagliardi trying to win his 4th national championship in first since 1976, and St. John's eschewing the field goal opportunity. Now the 14th play of this drive. And they swing it out to Tice. Tice needs some blocks downfield, and he gets into the end zone for the touchdown. Burkhart for Knapp, and it's picked off. Intercepted by Mike Sahar, and he is going to go. St. John's pulling off this upset, a 100-yard interception return for the Johnnies. So John Gagliardi, for the 4th time, is a national champion.
It's hard for me to believe I'm married to him. He's done so many things so well.
After 70 years in coaching, John Gagliardi retired. In 2013, at 86 years old, he watched a St. John's game from the stands for the very first time. Yet, John Gagliardi was surrounded by his team.
Oh, God, I can't get out of this chair. Let me give you, good to see you.
How you doing, buddy?
Good to see you.
You doing good?
Good to see you. Only the best back we ever had here. Billy, how are you? Nice to see you.
How are you? John, how are you?
Good to see you.
There were things we didn't realize then that you taught us that are bigger than those things we learned on the field.
That makes me proud that I had touched their lives, hopefully for the best.
John Gagliardi. He leaves the game a coaching legend. And to his players, he will simply be remembered as a saint.
Jim, thank you so much. And I think all of us in here can now see why this award that bears Coach Gagliardi's name, or John, if you will, is such a prestigious honor to take home tonight. What we're going to do now is really going to be a special part of the program, and it's going to move fairly fast. So what I would like to first do is I'm going to name our 4 finalists, and I'll have them walk across the front, right in front of you, and they're going to take a seat over here in these blue chairs. Then what we will do is we will meet each finalist one by one with a video presentation, and then they will step up into the hot seat, if you will, for a little get-acquainted session. So it's going to be a lot of fun to meet these guys and see what they're all about. So as they make their way around, let's give them all a big round of applause. Kevin Burke from the University of Mount Union. McCallum Foote from Middlebury College. Cole Klotz from the University of Wisconsin-Whitewater. And Octavius McKoy from Western Connecticut State University, your 4 Gagliardi finalists. As these gentlemen get settled in, we'll get set to watch our first video of our first finalist. And the gentleman tonight who will be doing our interviews will be up in the seat by the time the video finishes, so I want to take the proper time to introduce him just for a second. Many of you who follow Division III sports, especially Division III football, know his name very well. He's the executive director of D3Football.com since 1999, and honestly, if you get down to it, I think you would be hard-pressed to find any single thing that has popularized or gave fans of D3 sports an outlet better than D3 football has. Mr. Pat Coleman, let's give him a round of applause. And at this time, we're getting set to meet on the video screen Kevin Burke.
Kevin Burke, quarterback, the University of Mount Union. Kevin Burke, quarterback, the University of Mount Union.
Burke kept it himself this time, fighting free, still on his feet, and he scored.
The junior signal caller for the Purple Raiders has led his team to a 28-0 record in 2 years as a starter, garnering All-American honors and Mount's 11th national championship during his sophomore campaign. Burke led the Purple Raiders to their 22nd straight.
Very significant part of our team, and I can't underscore that enough, what he means to our team. This season, we started the year off with 1 returning starter on offense, and that was Kevin, and 10 new starters. It was a process for us coaches and for Kevin to try and pull those other guys up to the speed that he was at, having already started 15 games in our offense. He's done a remarkable job at that, you know, and showing leadership, not only on the offensive side of the ball. For a young team, he is the primary leader.
Off the field, Burke is deeply involved in civic and school matters. Kevin took part in Relay for Life, an effort to raise money for those stricken with cancer. Burke was inspired to do so after his grandmother and grandfather were diagnosed with the disease, lung cancer and leukemia, respectively. Kevin and several teammates walked laps around the Mount Union track from midnight till noon the next day to raise money for those afflicted with cancer. Burke and his teammates raised over $2,000 during the effort, with Kevin raising $500 on his own. Sadly, Kevin's grandfather lost his courageous battle with the disease September 1st, 2013, 6 days before the Purple Raiders season opener. In honor of his grandfather, Kevin has his grandfather and grandmother's initials stitched on his cleats, keeping them in his heart and on the field for every contest. Burke's efforts don't stop there. He works tirelessly packing meals for needy school children in the Alliance, Ohio community as part of the Stop the Hunger Now campaign. Kevin also recently welcomed to campus a young Raider fan stricken with muscular dystrophy. Burke is also involved with Raider Relief, a service program at Mount Union devoted to bettering the lives of others. Kevin also distributes candy during Raider Trick or Treat at Halloween time, and he helps kids develop their skills during summer football camps. In the classroom, Burke carries a 3.3 grade point average and majors in business administration.
When I first saw Kevin Burke play football at Mount Union, I thought he had a chance to be a really special player. As I got to know him better, I learned that he also is an excellent student and a great leader. Finally, what I ultimately learned is he's even a better person. Kevin Burke epitomizes all that is right in Division III athletics, and we are really proud of what he's accomplished both on and off the field.
We had a speaker on campus that gave remarks about an I promise situation. And Kevin's I promise card, which basically discussed what he was committing to do during his time here as a student, was he promised to be more than just a quarterback for the University of Mount Union. And really, for me, that's what kind of personifies what Kevin is. He's more than just Kevin Burke, the quarterback. Knowing that this award is based on a number of different things, one being obviously his accolades within the athletic world. Obviously, academics are going to play a huge role in that too, because Kevin is just outstanding in the classroom. But the most important thing, I think, that Kevin exemplifies as it applies to this award is the fact that he leads in life. He is a champion of a person, he has a heart of gold, and he really, truly gets what it means to be a kind and giving human being.
Welcome aboard. Your mic is on. Treat it wisely. There you go. All right. So, Kevin, last year you were the new guy to the offense. They had a bunch of veteran guys around you. You were the first-year starter at quarterback. This year, roles pretty much reversed. You were the only returning starter, and a whole bunch of new guys around you. Did you take on any extra burden? Did you feel any extra pressure at quarterback in that situation?
No, I didn't. You know, the word burden is not applicable when you talk about the Mount Union offense and the team. You know, there was a bunch of guys that stepped up. You know, that we lost a lot of guys, 10 seniors on offense and on defense too. But there's a bunch of guys that worked their butts off in the offseason and in the film room in the summer and stayed at Mount Union and really worked with me and the rest of the team and, you know, developed on their own. And, you know, there wasn't much, you know, pull by me. I didn't have to pull them along with me. They did it on their own, so I can't be more proud of them.
I read this week that you're still bothered by a loss that happened when you were in 8th grade. Is that really true?
Yes, I don't want to talk about it. No, my team, St. Bernadette, in grade school, we lost the city championship, and up until that point, for 4 years, we were undefeated, and you know, we happened to lose that game, and you know, it's one thing that losing is never a fun thing, and no matter what it is, you know how young you are or what it is it really doesn't matter. Losing's not fun. So, I think you remember the losses and things like that of that nature a lot more than the wins and the glorious moments. Like winning national championships and stuff like that. You remember the losses a little bit more.
We're, of all those changes I mentioned earlier, new offense around you, a bunch of new starters on defense, and a switch in the head coaching position as well from Larry Karras to Vince Karras. Did you feel at the beginning of the season, and then after you guys had to, rally in week 1 to beat Franklin, did you think that you'd be back here in this position this week?
Yes, I did. Me and Vince talked about it, a little bit after Larry stepped down. Actually, that day we had a talk, and he pulled me aside and said, listen, we're going to get it done. And I talked with him, and I couldn't be more confident in this season after talking with him. And I think same goes for him with talking to me. I didn't think that we were going to miss a beat this year, losing Larry Karras as a head coach. And he stuck around, and he's helped us out a lot. But Vince has done a great job of taking over this team and really leading us on to 14 victories so far.
How's it different under Vince than it was under Larry?
There's a few differences, a lot of similarities, but I think the main difference is Vince is very emotional, and he's a lot younger, and he's more personable, I think, in the aspect that he's. Sorry, Larry. You're not that old. Vince is very, very emotional in the aspect that he's always fired up. He's always ready to go. And if the team needs a pick-me-up, like say for instance in this last game against North Central, Vince did a great job. He brought us all together, gave us a little pep talk right on the sidelines when we were down actually, and he said, listen, we're not going to lose this game. We're not going to quit. We're going to win this game. And that just speaks volumes of the type of guy and the type of coach that Vince Karras is.
All right, and I know you've got your teammates and your coaches here, obviously. You managed to bring the whole team with you for this. That's great. Who else is here representing with you tonight?
I have my family sitting here. Jeff Burke, my dad. Jeff, my brother. Tama, my mother. Leah, my sister, and her fiance, Ross. And my sister back home, Shannon, is watching.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for Kevin Burke. Good job. That was great. All right.
Kevin, thank you very much. Next, let's meet the quarterback from Middlebury College, McCallum Foote.
I've been very fortunate to be able to coach Mack Foote for the last 3 years. He really is a coach's dream in terms of not only the talent he possesses, but more importantly is the way he leads our team, the demeanor he has on the football field is really impressive. He really sees the whole field. He really understands defenses. He really knows where the ball has to be thrown. And our team has always had a lot of confidence in him when he's had the ball in his hands late in the game.
3 wide receivers set, 4 Foote. It's Hislop out of the backfield. Blitz shown by Trinity. The Panthers pick it up. Over the middle. Touchdown, Panthers. It's caught in the end zone. Middlebury takes the lead with 1:12 remaining.
And what is very striking about McCallum is that he has an amazing balance in he can do between his academics and football or other commitments. Because he took a class with me, and I was just amazed. I didn't even know in the beginning that he was our star quarterback because he kept such a low profile as far as the classroom is concerned. And when you look at his work ethic, I mean, I wish most of my other students have his kind of a work ethic.
We are so proud of Mack, and as president, I can't say enough about what he has meant to this institution, both from the perspective of the athletics program, to the academic program, to how we view community service, and how we view liberal arts students in general. He has been an instrumental figure, I believe, in elevating the level of our expectations for our student athletes. He's been a great role model on the team, a great captain. He's also done wonderful community service and showed how to do that community service with great graciousness and compassion, and has really been a great role model beyond the athletics program as well.
Whether it's been grabbing sandbags when this area of Vermont was hit hard by Hurricane Irene, or whether it's carrying on our long tradition of picking up Butch for basketball games, He's been heavily involved in our Special Olympics, and he's also was the inaugural leader of our Impact Team, which is a organization that identifies young men with an illness that need some mentoring. And Mack has done a great job with Delshawn, who's been a part of our team for the last couple of years, and Mack has been the guy who spearheaded that effort.
I think you couldn't find a better finalist than Mack. He has performed well on the field, he's performed well in the classroom, and he's done an amazing job for the school overall.
And we should be so proud that we had somebody like him at Middlebury. And I'm going to really miss him once he's going to graduate.
Do that. There you go.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks.
All right. Where do you need you to hold that mic up?
Okay.
Yeah, there you go. So, started your career in the Ivy League. When you decided to come to Division III, you passed up Amherst, where I know you have a family connection and that sort of thing. Ended up choosing Middlebury, and clearly the people at Middlebury love you. So, why did you choose Division III? Why D3, and why Middlebury?
I guess when I was looking, I really wasn't happy at Brown, just in terms of academics. I was in really large classes, 250, 300 kids, and that's not sort of what I was used to. I went to a small prep school right outside of Boston. I had 12, 13 kids in each class, and I knew a NESCAC school would be able to offer that. And so I looked. Actually, the reason I looked at Middlebury so heavily was one of my wide receivers that was very successful for me in high school was up at Middlebury, and the quarterback that was there was breaking all sorts of records thrown to him and a couple other guys they had. They threw the ball around the yard a bunch, and then we actually had a lineman too that was up there. So they were really on the recruiting train, I guess, more than my dad was. So who's an Amherst grad. So
yeah, it's been a great few years for athletics at Middlebury in general. Obviously, it's been a great broad-based athletics program for many years, but recently. Men's basketball has gotten really good. They've played right here in this building, and football has won a conference championship. How does it feel to play some part in the resurgence of one of those prime programs?
First of all, neither of the games that we played here we won, so I don't know what that has to say. But no, there's some tough fought games. But yeah, in terms of I'm a big fan of the basketball team, the lacrosse team, hockey team, the football team. We like to think we're really big supporters. We always try to make it out to their games. And it was definitely special for us to, post a couple 7-1 records right there with them. So it meant a lot to us, and I think we garnered a lot of respect around campus with the way we played, and I think it showed in our attendance with our tailgating and things like that. People were really excited about coming to see us play.
We saw the crucial moments of that final drive that got you guys a share of that conference title. What did it feel like to, first of all, lead the team in that situation and just to get over the hump against Trinity, which has really dominated that league?
Yeah, they actually embarrassed us the previous year. We were both undefeated going into the game, and we went down there and really laid an egg. And I took that really personally. I think a lot of our team took that really personally, and we went to work. We sort of had that game circled on our schedule for a while. And so when we were, working out in the off season, we thought about that game. We had that game always on our minds, and we knew we would have them up at our place, and it was, it's a huge advantage for us to play at home. And that last drive is something I'll remember forever. Thankfully, our defense played great. They got us the ball back, forced a 3-and-out. We couldn't get it done the first time. They forced a 3-and-out, got us the ball back. And something special, something, I'm getting chills just thinking about it, seeing that play over and over again. So, yeah, something really special and something that I know my teammates and I will remember for a long time.
I know you're just finishing your degree as an econ major. So do you plan to go to grad school? You looking to still play football or coach football somewhere or what?
Yeah, I guess as of Sunday I'm unemployed, so I just sent in my last paper, so I'm not really sure.
Are you on LinkedIn?
Yeah, actually,
okay,
I am.
So connect with him on LinkedIn.
Anyone want to connect with me, thank you. I much appreciate it. Yeah, just in terms of I'm right now trying to see if there's any interest maybe at the next level, either in this country, maybe Europe. We'll see where it takes me. Beyond that, I have a degree from Middlebury College. Hopefully that carries little bit of clout, at least in New England and hopefully beyond. So we'll see. I guess take it one day at a time.
All right. Take a moment and tell us who's here with you tonight.
Okay, sure. We'll start with my sister Riley here on the left. My grandfather made it down, Robert Foote. My dad, who's also Robert Foote, and then my brother Thomas Foote. My sister Catherine, my mother Jane, my Coach Ritter came down, and then I have my girlfriend Kristen and my girlfriend's father Mick, who are actually they're Richmonders, so it was an easy trip for them to make it down. And then I have my youngest sister who couldn't get out of finals, so I'm going to wish her luck. Hopefully she's watching, but go study now. So.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for Mack Foote.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. All right, good luck.
Our third finalist from Wisconsin-Whitewater, linebacker Cole Klotz.
He's big, he's tall, he's long, he's strong. He's got all the physical tools that you'd really want, but I think probably more so than that, he's also got a strong desire to be great in terms of preparation and studying and really knowing the ins and outs of what we're doing. He's really excelled in that role.
When I came to visit here, I had a one-on-one with Lance, and it's the winning, the team spirit, it's everything, the camaraderie within the guys. You saw it all when you came and visited here, and that's really what drove me to come here.
What Cole means for our football team goes beyond being all conference or conference player of the year or being a finalist. It's his maturity, his leadership, his approach to everything that he does.
He is the captain of our team, and more than that, he's our leader on defense. He's out there quarterbacking every play, getting us in the right positions, making sure we're all in the right spot.
He's a leader on and off the field, definitely in the weight room, definitely in meeting rooms, and definitely on practice. And he makes plays, big plays when we need them.
He's like a dream to coach. We would kind of rely on him to make a lot of our calls and our adjustments and things out there on the field, and so he really takes that role seriously. I can't remember a time that we've ever had to encourage him to do more, play harder, try harder, concentrate more. He's always right at the forefront in that area.
And that was a really kind of tough time in my life, but through that whole thing, my grandfather and my grandmother, they've been my two biggest fans, and the two biggest ones who, approach me every day, come to me every day, and really push me to be who I am today.
One of the games, the last 2 years, we've done pink tape to support him, and he just knows we're always there for him.
He's earned the respect that he's gotten, and because they can see day in and day out what kind of person he is, that's all part of that respect and leadership that he enjoys.
My grandmother was at every one of our games, and she's still there today. It was honestly a huge surprise in my mind. I mean, I'm a defensive player. I never in a million years would I have thought I would have been a finalist for this award. It was a great honor.
To see what he's done, to be in this group, what the whole award's about, the academic side, his aspirations to go to med school, the things that he's done to stay healthy now, to prepare to be a leader. If he is chosen, it'll be a very good choice and well-deserved.
Good, better, best, never let it rest till the good get better and the better get best. That's a quote that's been ingrained in me since high school. Our coach, every day at practice would just be preaching it and preaching it and preaching it. It's something that's always stuck in my mind. It's always something that, you might be a good player, but there's always something else you can do. There's always something you can do to better yourself, and that's how you should approach every day.
sir. Welcome aboard.
Thank you. Put me on my bad side here.
Yeah. Don't know what to tell you. This isn't my good side either. I don't want to know what side that would be. So a pretty key guy on the team that you're going to be facing here in a couple days was up in this seat just a few minutes ago. Were you scoping him out?
Yeah, I mean, I think we definitely both are. The other two guys here are also great players, and it's going to be awesome to play against them on Friday. I think we're going to be different people on Friday, though. I think today we're trying to be nice and everything, but it's going to be we're going to be two different people on Friday.
How's that working out for you? Is it?
It's going pretty good, I think.
What was it like for you and for other people in the Whitewater program not being here last year?
Yeah, I think it was definitely a disappointing time for this whole program. But I think a lot of things just didn't click last year, and in the off season it was a big focus to get back to the basics, get back to the everyday grind, and really appreciate the amount of work it does take to get here. Both the teams that are here today, it's not an easy road. I mean, you saw last week we both won by a point. There's a lot of teams who deserve to be here, and it's really an honor to get here.
You clearly have the respect of your fellow players on defense, and it's a group that's been together for a long time. What's it like, you talked about the camaraderie that you saw when you came to visit, and what's it like being in that part of that group?
Yeah, it's definitely a group that has grown over the past years together. We got a bunch of great guys, and we all trust each other, and that trust grows every day. And these are a bunch of guys that I will lean on for the rest of my life.
Tell us about your community service, or a project or two that stands out for you.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest part in my life right now, my grandparents, ever since I was a baby, have always been really active in the underprivileged community, with St. Ben's Community Meal and through their own congregation, St. Leonard's. They were always, delivering food and helping the needy, and that's always something that's been ingrained in my heart since I was a kid. All
right, so you're a cell physiology major, which wasn't a thing I knew of before that was even a thing, and a chem minor, so you have a full class load and a bunch of labs. When do you have time to do any of that?
There's not a lot of time, to be honest, but every day you don't have any free time. My social life is nil. Don't have a lot of friends, unfortunately, but no, it's really it's just making me a better person, and the amount of just day in and day out stuff.
Well, I know some of your friends made it down here, and some of your coaches are obviously here as well. Who else came with you?
Yeah, I got my mom, my grandfather, my girlfriend, as well as her father have all been here for me through thick and thin. Of course, I got my teammates and my brothers out there, as well as my coaching staff.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, a hand for Cole Klotz.
And now our final finalist from Western Connecticut State University, running back Octavius McCoy.
We don't have a Western Connecticut State helmet, but Octavius McCoy gets a helmet sticker. He ran for 455 yards. It's Division III school victory against Worcester State. No running back in any division in college football has ever had 455. McCoy gets a helmet sticker.
The reason I think Octavius McCoy is the ideal Gagliardi Trophy candidate is really his work ethic. He is, in my 20 years of coaching, the hardest working student athlete I've ever been associated with.
Octavius works the night shift at a local retailer 2 nights a week. This is not a pampered Division I student athlete we're talking about here.
I never switch up the routine. I go into every game calm, focused. I trust the game plan 100%. And I just relax. I trust my linemen, Johnny Medina, Malik Riley, Rob Carpenter, Jordan Smith, and C.J. Grace, and I just go out there and do what I do.
This is a young man who chose to come here because we were bad, and he wanted to turn the program around.
WestCon, I love my school. They're a great support system. They back me 100%, and I'm truly honored just to have a chance to play for WestCon.
Well, I think Octavius McCoy's accomplishments have really galvanized our entire university this year. I talked to alumni who come back to the football games and say it's a totally different environment. And I think a lot of that is because of Octavius. And not just because he's gaining a lot of yards on the ground in games, but because of the kind of person he is.
I like to think that I'm sharp. I have a high IQ of the game. I work hard, I'm dedicated, I listen to my coaches, and I just go out there and try to be at my best.
He's really learned how to take his work ethic off the field in football and apply it academically to his professional writing degree. His GPA has actually increased every single semester, to where he's been over 3.0 GPA his last semester, and I'm very proud of him as much for that as I am his football accomplishments. And obviously, football-wise, he's had a great year.
I think that's why people have taken to him so much, because he's mature, he gets his work done, he's no nonsense, there's not a harder worker either in the classroom or on the football field, and we just couldn't be prouder of him.
My family, everyone supported me 100%. My coaches, my friends, the school, the community, everyone has just backed me 100%, and I'm grateful for it.
Right, sir. Welcome aboard. You've been on ESPN, so this should be pretty easy.
It's my first time getting a chance to touch it.
I was reading about the running backs that you kind of styled your game after, and for a guy your age, some of them made a lot of sense to me. LaDainian Tomlinson, Barry Sanders, that sort of thing. And then I saw on that list like Doc Blanchard and Red Grange, guys who played well before I was alive, and certainly before you were alive. How did you find out about those guys, and what did you take from their games?
Ever since I was little, I've been a historian of the game. When I was little, I'll have every channel on in the house on football. I always collected DVDs. I always studied them. And I just always wanted to be like the best player. I believe that nothing that I'm doing something that no one has done before. So there's always something that I could learn. Watching Red Grange, I think he's one of the best running backs ever. This guy only played 21 games in college, and he put up numbers that we put up, and we played 40 games. Mm-hmm. So Doc Blanchard and Glenn Davis, those two were the only Heisman Trophy backfield in college football during a time where they were dominant. So there's always guys out there that you can learn from and apply that to your game.
You took the longest road to get here out of these four guys, and maybe one of the longest roads of any Division III player right now. How did you end up in Division III, and how did you end up at Western Connecticut?
I'm originally from Connecticut. Mm-hmm. So when I had left to go to junior college out in Kansas and Arizona, things didn't work out. So I had an opportunity to come back home. I settled down. I did some maturing. And I just enrolled at WestCon, and now I'm here.
So you broke a pretty prominent record. We've heard quite a bit of talk about it already tonight, 455 yards in a single game. And then just a few weeks later, this guy, Cartel Brooks from Heidelberg, goes and breaks that record, takes it out from under you, so to speak. How did that make you feel?
Competition, spirit of competition. There's always a guy out there who's working hard, mm-hmm. Who's studying, who's up working. And as a D3 player, the exposure any of us can get, as well as the other three finalists, is good exposure for D3. So I was happy for him, and I just hope he had the experience that I had.
It's they talked about how you came to Western Connecticut hoping to turn that program around, and it was a program on a long losing streak. Brought in a new coach, Joe Loft took over, ended that streak, changed conferences. Pretty good season, obviously really good season for you guys this year. How did it feel helping that happen and going out on a high note?
It felt great. It wasn't just for me. When I first came to WestCon, I noticed that the school it's a football school. They were just in a slump. Mm-hmm. They couldn't get it going in the right direction. So to watch the fans pour in week after week, watch the support from the community, watch the support from the faculty, the staff, it just gave our team the extra motivation to go out there and produce and become winners. So I was just happy to help my school to bring the energy back.
How do you see football playing a role in your future?
Well, it's a day-by-day thing. Just got to continue to do what's got you to this point. Just stay focused, continue to work hard, surround yourself with positive people, and just see what the future holds.
All right, so who's here with you tonight?
My coach, who supports me 100%, my father, who supports me 100%, my grandfather and my uncle who made the trip from North Carolina. So, I'm happy they came.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get a hand for Octavius McCoy. All right, sir. Hey, good job, man. All right, good luck.
Pat, thank you so much for a great job. And I'm going to give all of you one last look and a chance to give them one big round of applause. I'm going to ask our 4 finalists to head back across the front of the arena to your seats up here at the head table. Once again, Kevin Burke, Mack Foote, Cole Klotz, and Octavius McKoy. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Now, we certainly would not be here tonight if it were not for a number of folks, not the least of which is John Gagliardi. But also, we would not have such a beautiful piece of hardware over there if it were not for the great folks at Jostens. And it's really interesting to sit beside people you've never met before and get to know them tonight. If you think those 4 young men were a bit nervous over there, some of them maybe more so than the other, think about this gentleman I'm about to introduce right now. He lives in the Atlanta area. He's been with Jostens 36 years. His first call was he was told to go meet and try to sell something to Bear Bryant. Imagine that. Please welcome, if you would, George LaJoe.
And he said to me, "Son, have a seat." I sat. I'm a salesman. I never said a word. I left. It's been a great career for me. The reason it's been a great career is because I get to work with men and women student athletes day in and day out and sell the fine products that we have. But tonight, folks, on behalf of Jostens and the Gagliardi Trophy Committee, I'm in awe. I really am of these 4 gentlemen here tonight, and the honor to be able to read who the winner is. There are no losers tonight. These are 4 great, great athletes. I'd like one more round of applause for these 4 gentlemen here. Since 1897, Jostens has been delivering quality products, emblematic products, and our goal has always been to help people celebrate those important times of their lives. Tonight's a very important time, and we're so proud to be involved. In 1993, Jostens got involved when this started and started the design of the trophy. This trophy is beautiful, not because we made it. It's just because of John Gagliardi, what it means, and what this evening means. We're so appreciative of this opportunity. The Gagliardi Trophy is certainly about all those great attributes they had on the football field, but it's also about some other things. It's about dedication, which we saw these athletes do more than just play football. The perseverance to get up every day and do the things they do and be student athletes. Character. All 4 of these guys, from what I've seen, have tremendous character. Great coaching, great support by their families. These 4 finalists exemplify everything that you'd want for this trophy and what we would want. So I'm not going to waste any more time. This year's Gagliardi Trophy goes to Kevin Burke, University of Mount Union.
Thank you. I honestly didn't think I was going to win this. I mean, these 3 guys, I got a chance to know them and talk to them a little bit. They're great athletes and even better people. And just getting the chance to talk to these guys for the little time I had, it just solidified the fact that I really didn't think I was going to win this award. These guys are great guys, and they really deserve this award just as much as I do. First and foremost, I want to thank my teammates and my coaches. There's no way I could have done this without you guys. This is a team game, and every individual award that any of us get, we all share with each other. This is especially special to me because, as you guys might have seen, my grandfather passed away on September 1st, and every game up until this point has been for him. And I definitely couldn't have done this without him, or these 5 people sitting at this table right here in front of me. My family is the best in the world, and I'm sure everybody says that, but I love you guys to death. Couldn't have done without you guys. Go Raiders. Thank you.
Kevin, congratulations. What we're going to do now to close things out, I'm going to ask Mr. LeJoe and I'm going to ask Kevin and our other three finalists to head over, and we're going to take a photo over there. If you would like to have a photo opportunity, please feel free to step up. We'll have some of the guys who are professional photographers over here kind of organize things. We'll also get some pictures of Kevin, obviously with the trophy himself, but we certainly would like to have a picture of all the finalists over there. On behalf of everyone in the city of Salem, the NCAA, the J Club, also all of us with Jostens, thank you so much for being here tonight, supporting this endeavor, and the D3 Gagliardi Award. Have a great evening.
Kevin Burke, the University of Mount Union, your 2013 Gagliardi Trophy winner. Incredible feat for a junior. We were actually checking on this, but we believe, we can't find anything to say otherwise currently, that he is the first junior in 21 winners of this award to win the Gagliardi Trophy. And who knows? Next year, he could be the first two-time winner ever. First, we have a lot more to go through here this week alone. We have, for instance, the Stag Bowl for him to play in on Friday night, 7 p.m. here in Salem. Again, I'm Frank Rossi in the Salem Civic Center here for the Gagliardi Trophy. Now, post-show, as we will have an interview with Kevin after he's done taking some photos and receiving his congratulations from his friends, his family. He has a whole contingent here, including a team, as his team will be facing off against Wisconsin-Whitewater Friday night to see if he can continue his winning ways. One thing I've seen on message boards and Twitter alike over the last few weeks especially is this mantra that the guy just wins, and you can't fight that. You absolutely can't fight that. And now, one more thing that he's won, this one not a team accomplishment, but an individual accomplishment in terms of the Gagliardi Trophy. As you can see, posing with some of the other finalists near the award. You can tell that legitimately all these guys became friends in this process, and this is one of the nicest things about what they've done over the last few years, having the four finalists join us here in Salem instead of just getting the winner to appear and give a speech. And there he is, your winner, Kevin Burke, 2013 winner. Kevin, as we were saying, is from Westlake, Ohio, a two-time first-team All-Ohio Athletic Conference member, D3Football.com North Region Offensive Player of the Year. 188 points he led all NCAA divisions with, and a 3.31 GPA in business administration. Nothing to scoff at, no doubt. A great job by him in the classroom. Trick or Treat with the Raiders, Fellowship of Christian Athletes, and the 2013 Mount Union Relay for Life fundraiser, among other things. There were more on the list. Just can't fit it on one screen, but trust me, folks, that Kevin Burke is a very deserving Gagliardi Trophy winner. For those wondering, that is our 10th quarterback in 21. So as we said in the show earlier, there's a mix of quarterbacks, running backs, and defenders who get nominated for the award, but 10 quarterbacks have now won it, and get this one, 6 players from the University of Mount Union have now won out of 21. So we talk about the on-the-field dynasty of Mount Union, but then this award as well has a little bit of a keel toward Mount Union. The individuals that make up that great team are getting their honors and their due here. As you can see him posing with his family and friends. Kevin Burke, again, the winner of the 2013 Gagliardi Trophy. We'll have him here for an interview in a little bit. But again, folks, remember, for those who are coming to Salem, let me remind you of some of the festivities coming up here on Thursday night. The Spotlight on Champions dinner will focus on the camaraderie and maybe a little bit of edginess between the teams they'll be facing off on Friday night, but a definite celebration of the two teams that have made it here to Salem for the Stag Bowl this year. And that is, again, University of Mount Union and Wisconsin-Whitewater. Then Friday night, 5 p.m., you'll want to tune in D3Football.com's pregame show, an exclusive show that we put on every year, will be online, and d3football.com itself will have the link to that show. And following that at 7 o'clock, we'll be on ESPNU or on the audio stream. You can stay on d3football.com for the audio of Stag Bowl this year in 2013. We have 8 out of the last 9 matchups as Mount Union, Wisconsin-Whitewater. We took a year off last year when Mount Union defeated St. Thomas. We'll see what happens this year as Wisconsin-Whitewater back here after a 1-year hiatus. And you heard Cole Klotz talk about it, and Lance Leipold, when I spoke with him earlier, that it would definitely they had something to prove this year, and they proved it a lot, but they're not going to be happy until they win the Stag Bowl. Or will it be Kevin Burke and his team and his head coach, as you see on your screen right now, in terms of Vince Karras, first-year head coach, as he has replaced his father, Larry Karras, as head coach. Larry Karras, now the athletics director at University of Mount Union. And those are his duties. Vince has done a great job, obviously, at 14-0, trying to move it to 15-0. And that championship, that would move Kevin Burke, I believe, if my math is correct, to something along the lines of 30-0 as a starting quarterback at Mount Union if he's able to pull off that feat. Again, folks, Frank Rossi here, and this show is coming to a close, but we want to get you that interview. As you can hear, the Mount Union fan base, the players, and everybody else behind me cheering on Kevin Burke. It's going to be tough to get him over here, I bet you, because you have about 80 players or thereabouts, and family and friends trying to congratulate him. In fact, he made his way through here, folks. He's elusive. He's so elusive, he got around his team for this interview. Let's welcome Kevin Burke. Let me be one of the first 100, at least, to congratulate you on the honor as the 2013 Gagliardi Trophy winner. How's it feel?
You know, words can't describe how it feels. There's just so many emotions going through me right now, and you know, the main one just being joy and just proud that, you know, me and my team got this award, and we're walking home with it.
You say you and your team, and by all means, but let's face it, you were a leader among leaders on the offense. Last year, you were a sophomore with 10 seniors on offense. This year, you are the junior with experience with 10 first-time starters on offense. How did you grow up? How did you mature in this process to be able to become what you are now in terms of, 29-0 or thereabouts, national champion, and perhaps 2 if you can do it again on Friday?
Right, you know, just the maturity process came a little easier, I think, than most, and that has to do with my upbringing and the way my family raised me. And, you know, they did a great job of you know, keeping me disciplined and really humble throughout my career. So, you know, they did a great job, and you know, I think I've had an easy transition through last year to this year with Vince. He was a tremendous support and very helpful with me, and you know, we kind of knew the spotlight was going to be on us. So, you know, talking with him just set me at ease and really allowed me to just be Kevin Burke and you know, be the quarterback that I always was and work hard. So
that whole you watched the Gagliardi Trophy earlier. The whole dime versus the sun analogy that was talked about there. I got a chance to watch the video about your I Promise, and before we came in, and I saw the Gagliardi Trophy, and those two things seem to really run it right into each other in terms of you realize that coming into Mount Union, you wanted to be more than a quarterback for that school, and Coach Gagliardi talked about the fact that life is the sun versus the dime, which was football. I mean, what, at a young age, you made this determination. What made you understand that so early on, and how have you lived that in the process?
Well, you know, back to what I was talking about earlier with my parents and my upbringing, and a lot of it is just a credit to them and the way I was raised, and you know, my grandfather who you know, actually passed away this year, he had a big part in that, and you know, he was a firm believer in just being humble and family is first. And you know, at Mount Union we are a family, and I understand that, you know, these trophies and these awards are nice and all, but when it comes down to it, after you graduate and after you're done playing football, you have a life to live, and you have to be a better person than a football player, essentially. And you know, I believe in the fact that, you know, I want to be more than just a quarterback for the football team of University of Mount Union. I want to be a better person, and I want people to know that I want them to be a better person for having met me.
what ultimately do you want to do? Is coaching in your future? I mean, you have another year, obviously, of school after this year and another year to be a quarterback at Mount Union, but you got to be developing some idea of what you want to do down the line. What is it?
Well, I want to play football as long as I can. And, whatever that entails is that's what I'm going to do because, you're only young for so long, and I don't want to look back and regret not playing football as long as I could. So football is going to be my number one priority, and, that may sound naive, but, I'm a kid at heart, and I love this game, and it's raised me to be who I am today. So football is my main focus, and I have plenty of time to apply for jobs and look for that nonsense, and after that's over with. So football is what I'm going to chase.
Let's talk about football. Last Saturday, you had this person right here screaming down 57th Street in Manhattan in a snowstorm myself, watching the two-point conversion play that basically, for all intents and purposes, won the game for your team because of the way things transpired from there. If that play did not score the two-point conversion for the lead with your team down by 1, you likely would not have won that game. Were you concerned at all at any point in that fourth quarter? And talk about that play specifically where you had to dive in short sleeves. You were just wearing a jersey basically in ice-cold weather with snow and just dove for the pylon and made it. Tell us about that fourth quarter and that play in particular.
Yeah, the fourth quarter of that game against North Central, who is a phenomenal team, and they have a phenomenal coach, and their defense gave us, the best look we've had to date. So, they did a great job of stopping us when they needed it, but, we came through and we won that game. But as for being concerned at all in the game, I really wasn't, and that's not to say that North Central's not a good team or we're the better team. It's just a mindset that I've had throughout the year that, it's not going to, fall to pieces for us. We're going to win, and it's going to happen. And I think that helps to, get plays done, such as the two-point conversion, where, you have to make an extra effort to get into the end zone and help your team out. So, I'm proud of that play and the fact that, I had to make that extra effort, but I think any one of the guys on our team would have done the exact same thing. So, I just love this team and everything they've done for me.
Your fans have a mantra about you that I quote actually in this week's Triple Take that we determine or predict the games, and it basically comes down to Kevin Burke, the guy just wins. You got a big game this week. You've got opponents that you've been looking across the room at all night long here. Is this going to continue? You don't want to talk about the 8th grade game. Obviously, you don't want this to turn into another 8th grade type game. I mean, what's your mentality going into this?
Well, mentality is going to be the same as it was for the past 14 weeks, and we're going to win this game. I'm going to win this game, and I'm not afraid to say that, and we're not afraid to say that we're going to win. But that's not a guarantee, or that has nothing to do with Whitewater. That's just a mentality that we have. Whitewater is a great team, and Cole. I was sitting with Cole and talking with him. He's a great player, and he is the leader of that team, and he knows how to get it done too. So, we're both undefeated up until this point, but something's got to give, and I'm just excited for the opportunity to play for another one.
With over 70 tackles in a season, you may see him in the backfield. Do you think he's going to go easy on you after tonight, or?
Oh, not a chance. No, he's definitely going to get some revenge if he can. So.
Well, congratulations. I'm not going to hold you any longer here, but as a junior, we think you may be the first junior to win it. We've been trying to look back in our record books. We just found ourselves that you won this, but if you are not the first junior, you are only the second, I think, in the worst-case scenario. So congratulations, and perhaps, you never know, we might see you back at this table next year.
Maybe.
In the meantime, good luck on Friday night.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Kevin Burke, the 2013 Gagliardi Trophy champion here, and congratulations to him. We're going to begin to transition out of here, folks. And again, we want to thank you for joining us here on the Gagliardi Trophy show, the pregame, the actual body of the show, and the postgame show here. I want to give some thanks to a good number of individuals without which this would not get off the ground. I want to thank DMAC Productions and D3Sports.com Productions. Also, Ryan Klinkner, of St. John's. Brad Bankson of the Old Dominion Athletic Conference, also J.J. Nekloff, and Molly Robertson from the ODAC. Dave McHugh, our director and producer. Chris Arnold and Rob Stutz, our camera operators. The athletics departments and sports information offices at Middlebury, Mount Union, Wisconsin-Whitewater, and Western Connecticut. I want to thank Stephen University Athletics. Also, from the city of Salem, Carrie Harvey-Cutter, who is Director of Civic Facilities here, and John Saunders and the rest of the Salem Civic Center staff. the J Club of St. John's and Jostens. And again, this is a presentation of DMAC Productions and D3Sports.com. Remember, folks, Friday night, 5 o'clock pregame show, 7 o'clock or thereabouts, the kickoff for the Stag Bowl this year. But tonight, the night belongs to a Mount Union player. That is Kevin Burke. The junior has become your 2013 Gagliardi Trophy winner. Thanks for joining us, and have a great night. We'll see you on Friday.